Bethany. We're going live on a Wednesday where we can share our wisdom. Wisdom Wednesday.
Wisdom Wednesday. I like
I
that.
love that alliteration. We have to live inside of words. So listen, I wanted to talk today, if it's okay with you, about the value of a coach, because I had actually several meetings this week. Monday is like coaching day, and a couple other times that I met with some of my own clients. And, we talk a lot about the value of coaching spanning all of these different niches. And I'm curious how this has been for you. But what I find is I so often come to the table with all of this experience and like content and things I want to share. And that's not really necessarily the role of a coach. I mean, there are times when we need to say, okay, here's a strategy. Have you thought about this? Or we give suggestions. But at the end of the day, it doesn't seem to matter. The most of my time seems to be spent really listening, hearing, feeding back to someone, and watching as they come to this awareness, and I know we've talked about this before, but honestly, it blows my mind how powerful the process of just being heard, just holding space for someone. And I know Tiffany was speaking to this the other day, how exhausting it is to hold space. And yet it is the most natural thing if you're really, really listening. And then it's almost like you create this cocoon around someone's experience, and they get to kind of move around in it, and then they come out of it. I'm just amazed at the whole. It's always a miracle, and it's always so fulfilling, and I'm always just so grateful. So I wanted to say that today, not just by myself, like out in the world, and get your feedback on that. And then to encourage people that when you get to like September and you're thinking, oh my gosh, where did the year go? This is when being with someone, if it's a coach or a mentor, honestly, when you are with a professional, it really can facilitate rapid movement in a really positive way. So what has been your experience around that?
Oh, absolutely. I 100% agree with you on the just being heard, being seen, and having that space that somebody holds for you. So, I mean, technically we can do this for ourselves, right? Like I've learned to actually facilitate myself in some cases. I mean, there are times when I absolutely need someone else, right? But, it's like, how often do we actually listen to ourselves? How often do other people actually listen to us when we have something that we feel like needs to be heard? And sometimes it's just like this thing that just needs to be heard and said and put out there without judgment, right? And I think those are the big things. It's like being able to say whatever that thing is, however scary it might feel, or wrong or bad, or whatever the case is. But to be able to say that, to be heard, and to not be made wrong. And then it's able to be like, okay, I was heard, I was seen. Yeah. And now I can move forward. Now I'm not stuck in this place. Now I'm not like going, over and over and over in my head about whatever this pattern was, or this place that I was functioning from was.
Yeah. And the thing is, like, so yes, to be heard without judgment, and someone just really listening, it's very, very powerful, and it's so simple. It seems so obvious.
Right.
And when we're talking like I work with a lot of people in business, and so often there's a business strategy that needs to be implemented, right? Like there's something that needs to happen. Could be sales or systems or like whatever it is, marketing. And yet it's no different than the fit. It always comes back to the fitness journey in my mind. Like, it doesn't matter what you know or what someone tells you to do. If you can't, and again, it does come back to alignment, settling down. Like, usually your nervous system just has to settle down, and you have to pull back into that peaceful place of equilibrium and neutrality. And just doing that can solve a lot of problems, but it's very difficult for people to do that on their own sometimes,
right.
because stuff is happening all the time, right?
Well, and Michelle, I mean, I don't know about you, but how many people do you know, or even yourself, maybe have you, like, for me, I was stuck in fight or flight mode for years, probably, until I finally started doing the work and like unraveling that and allowing my nervous system to start healing so that I could relax in my body, right? Because when you're stuck in fight or flight, you're stuck in those programs and those things that are just not, they're limiting you in some way, right? But when you can relax into your body and your nervous system isn't like fired up and going crazy, you can actually start to see things, and because we already know, like, everybody already knows. You already know what you know. you know? So it's like,
Absolutely.
to be able to get, and like, the nervous system is such a huge piece of it. So I love that you brought that up.
Yeah, I mean, every session that I do, we address that first, and sometimes everybody has to just vent, and then like at the end, we'll do that, a release of some sort, somatic healing or whatever, because it's like the old cliche, sleep on it. There's a reason for that, right? So we want to move from reaction to the ability to respond from, like you said, what we already know. But I think that I really just was thinking this morning, you know what? The value of a coach is that. And you can be not in fight or flight in one area of your life, but be triggered and in a pattern in another area of your life, right?
Yeah.
Like, it could just be fitness or business, or oftentimes relationships or whatever. So gosh, your post the other day about what you went through with your husband or your fiance, and now you're married to this person, like, that's a full circle experience of releasing and healing and like the whole thing. And I loved reading that post, Bethany. So I'll have to share that on my timeline too. But that's what you can do every day. Come full circle with whatever that thing is. And every time that thing comes into your field of awareness, right? That is your opportunity to complete the circle and change the pattern. So I think that's the essential value of having a coach in your corner.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying, a coach in your corner.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, and even like, I don't know who has seen my post, but like, you know, it wasn't part of that was about that. It wasn't that, you know, everything completely changed, right? Now that I got into a better relationship, like, there's still stuff, but like, the more you move through it and the more you're aware of things, the easier it is to move through when stuff comes up, when there's triggers. Because, you know, just changing a relationship doesn't fix the stuff, right? Like, that's why a lot of times people get frustrated, because they go from one relationship to the next, and it's like the same stuff keeps happening. Well, you're the common denominator in your relationship, you know? So that you gotta look at yourself. You gotta be willing to like own where you're at, you know? And it's oftentimes like a scary thing, but it's like, when you actually see that it's not really scary, it's just we think it is, and you can go there and you can move beyond it. It's really, really powerful and beautiful and healing. And yeah, and it's pretty amazing, because things to this day still surprise me that come up, and then the way we move through it. And, you know, at this point, I'm lucky enough to like be able to come back closer to my husband when stuff come up, rather than, you know, move further away, right? Which is really cool. So, but it's like, none of it's wrong.
cool. Yeah. I mean, yeah, it's amazing. And as you're speaking, I'm thinking how that is, it's the same pattern with business or anything else, right? You can, with business, there's often this thing of the, you know, the shiny object, which we call a syndrome, even at this point, because it's so common, where you just are jumping from one thing to another, to another, to another. And what the common denominator, it's the same thing, right?
Yeah.
Relationships, food, I mean, anything and everything that we do, but we do mature in that way, and we get better at remaining unidentified with everything that's happening. And that's when you really do, back to like you talk about alignment a lot, when you're really knowing who you are and that you do have the answer, and you can gather skills, or, you know, learn skills and gather information, but that you really do have it within you, then
Right.
you're identified in the right place. So I think that too is when you're sitting with someone that sees you and is willing to walk that path with you, instead of like putting all the band-aids on and, you know, like, do this, do that, buy this, buy that, do go there, more, date more people or whatever.
Yeah.
It can be really, really much more efficacious, honestly, because then you're solid in your decision making and everything. It's
Yeah.
powerful.
Yeah, exactly. And then you have that better relationship with yourself, and you start having that trust of yourself that you didn't have before. Even if you
Yeah.
make a choice that doesn't quite work out how you thought, it's like you get to go back and be like, it's okay, I can still trust myself, you know? And that's what's, I don't know. I just love this whole conversation because it's everything that we get to do, you know, not only with our clients, but I think the work that we've done with ourselves. And yeah, it's really amazing stuff.
Yeah. Well, I think that yeah, it is. It's an amazing space to be in, honestly. I'm so grateful. Every time I meet with someone, it's always a transformational experience, honestly. Every
Yeah.
conversation is that. And when you come full circle, and it's never like, okay, we got to go back and now fix things. It becomes like we get to elevate out of that place of changing, fixing, healing, improving. You know, it's more like and
Right.
and then what? So it's, and it sounds kind of silly and kind of almost trite, but if you, when you're really inside of it and experiencing it, that shift in perspective is absolutely everything.
It is. It's life changing. It really is. It's like it'll shift your whole world in the most beautiful ways.
Yeah. I feel like I'm on Clubhouse. I'm going to say, and we are complete. So we now invite you, which I never go on there anymore, but so you all are invited to come to our free coaching summit if you want to. And you
Yeah.
get to really go behind the curtain with, there's some incredible, very well known and very not yet well known, about to be very well known coaches from every niche. We have people who do energy work. We have people who are really amazing business strategists, LinkedIn experts, and who else is on there? So many people.
And
What did you say?
I said crypto experts.
Oh, crypto experts, dating, relationships.
Like
I've
all
got
of
a
it.
parenting person, anything and everything you can imagine. You can come and just get a taste of what
Mm-hmm.
these people are like and how they work with others, so that you can make better decisions yourself.
Yeah, and there's even some really amazing energetic like activations in some of these as well, which is pretty awesome too. So, I mean, there's kind of all aspects of things.
Yeah, it's a very, we are covering a very wide berth of not only niches, different specific industries and demographics and Yeah. So just check it out. Thank you,
Yeah.
Bethany.
Awesome. Thanks,
So fun
Michelle.
to see you. And I hope you can come on
Okay.
again tomorrow or the next day. That would be awesome. How
Yes,
are
that sounds,
your 3 little piggies are doing well?
they're so adorable. They're still so little and cute and
You
squealy.
should be posting piggy reels on
No,
Instagram.
I need some more. I need some more.
Yeah. Okay. Well, have a beautiful day and thank you for coming on, and I'll see you tomorrow.
Thank you. Bye.